It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. We are live with Pals Pulls. It's myself, Sean, as always, joined by Tyler.
Guten Tag. Is
Yeah, you know it.
that right?
And Kale.
Bonne nuit, y'all.
Marco's coming. Marco's on the
Whoa.
way.
Oh,
You can't say that.
he's
Why
like
not?
Veer Mahan over
Veer
here.
Mahan is coming all over Dominic Mysterio. Marco will be coming all over this podcast later.
Oh,
But we're going to start things off without him. Say hello as you join in live on Twitch if you are choosing to watch that way. If you're not, you can join us every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. For Pals Pulls, this very show. This week, we're going to be talking about X-Men Red, #1. Very, very, very Marvel heavy week this week. Marauders, #1. We're not going to comment on the cover? No?
I mean, it's Peach Momoko. This is the correct cover to
Yeah.
choose every time.
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah. Some praise, Kale. And Daredevil's Reign #6.
Sean, congrats on picking up the correct piece of paper.
Thank you. Appreciate
People in
it.
hell want ice water. I don't know.
And Radiant Red #2. So 4 interesting books this week. Can't wait to dive in and talk about them. But before we jump into that, you can also catch us live and make your Saturdays with the Comics Pals starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Quite early. So if you're an early bird, come hang out with us as we chat about the news of the week. Listen to our main show or this show on YouTube as well, youtube.com/thecomicspals. We're over 550 subs, so help us get to 600 before the end of the summer. That would be pretty cool. If we get 1,000 before the end of the year, Kale's going to do a backflip. So
Yeah.
that's what we're working towards.
Can I ask for
In my
clarification on that?
Yeah.
Is it into a pool? Is it into like a foam pit, a ball pit? Just
No, it's
standing?
just a
Just a
standing
backflip.
backflip.
Yeah.
You ever see
Oh,
that
where am
that viral video? It's like 2 old heads just doing a dance battle in like a strip mall.
Two old heads.
Yeah. Sean, help me out here.
Can't say that I have.
And then they're having a dance battle, and one guy's like, "I could do a backflip," and he does, and he lands straight on the top of his dome, gets knocked out. Everyone just screams and runs away.
Nice.
It's a classic video, but I feel like that's what's gonna happen to Kel. So Kel, if that happens, be careful. Be careful.
If it happens, be careful. Yeah. Well, let's start off strong. Oh, wait, no. Before we do, by the way, Tyler, can you just tell the people what you're drinking?
It is a mixture of Mr. Black's coffee liqueur and Woodford Reserve that I probably got the ratios all mixed up on, and I just kind of just threw it together. So, it is it's waking me up.
I'm drinking something anonymous. It's in a red cup, so we don't speak about things in red cups.
Is it lean?
No, Tyler, I'm not
Yeah.
drinking lean. It's
Okay.
You know what it is? It's Henny and Pepsi.
Is that a thing?
That's what it is.
Henny is a cognac, right?
I don't know anything about it, actually. I just drink it.
You're drinking.
Yeah.
All right,
Bottoms
well.
up. All right. Let's talk about X-Men Red. I've been looking forward to this book a lot. In terms of the books that were announced for the new X-Men lineup, the Destiny of X lineup, it's this and Immortal X-Men. You guys were lucky enough to review Immortal X-Men last week, and you said it was
Lucky enough while this dude was in Miami.
Well, we all enjoy our time in different ways. X-Men Red is by Al Ewing with art by Stefano Caselli, Federico Blee on colors, and Ariana Mayer on letters. I believe that some amount of this is the creative team from Al's prior book, right? Sword?
Sword, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this feels like a spiritual successor to that in a lot of ways. And I wasn't all the way sure what this was going to be, but about halfway through, I was like, wait, I'm actually really enjoying this. This is really good.
I really like this issue.
Yeah, here comes Marco, by the way. Marco's
Okay, all right. Let me. Yeah. Once he jumps in, I'll change the scene.
Yeah.
But
all right, Marco's here now. Thank you for joining us, Marco. We are in fact live, so say hello to the people.
What's up, people? It's good. It's busy life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing adult things. It's fine.
Yeah.
Are you still on a call?
Yes.
They're gonna be like, Marco, you're muted. Why can't we hear you?
It's okay. I wasn't talking.
Unreal.
If we need to
Unreal.
drop out,
Incredible.
just let us
Yeah.
know.
The dedication. Who is Stupido?
That's my brother-in-law. That's Rory.
Oh, nice.
That's
What's
why
up?
he's using my little head there, my little
Was it-
emoji.
Was it Rory's birthday yesterday? Is that
No, it was his younger brother's. No, this
okay.
this one's in college.
Okay. Hope you're enjoying college, dude. So yeah, you were saying, Tyler, that you found this to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, before Marco just barged into our nice little podcast here.
Yeah, come on, Marco. Without a
no,
drink on top of that.
Maybe
I
once
wasn't you made aware of this. I have my
you
cup of
would have
water.
been if you were on the call before.
He is working.
Hey, listen, I'm going to say this right now. If you're still working after 6 p.m., you have the right to drink.
Is that
I
the case
firmly
for like
believe that.
every employee?
Everybody.
Okay, all right.
If you started your job at 8 or 9 or 7 a.m. and you are still working
okay,
at 6,
all right.
you should be drinking.
So you're talking shift length. You're not talking
Yeah,
specific.
the 9 to
Yeah.
5ers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So like
No.
the sanitation workers that are operating heavy machinery, maybe not.
Maybe you might want to think about it.
But I know sanitation workers. I know they're doing it anyway. So
You know.
You gotta get through, you know.
it's true. It's true.
I don't get that advantage. I'm salaried, so they tell me to work. I gotta work.
It's
They
true.
didn't tell you not to drink. Anyways,
Fair enough.
so X-Men Red. This was really good. I gotta say up front that I feel like Storm has been treated badly over the course of the X-Men since House of M, in the sense that they've basically done nothing with her. They were gonna make her pregnant, and we know that due to Jonathan Hickman, she was gonna be pregnant in the giant-sized X-Men issue. And that's what that whole issue was built around. But then Marvel at the last minute said, nah, actually, you can't do that. So the whole issue makes no sense. So then instead, she was infected by some kind of virus. And then that kind of was a wash and nothing really came of it. So there's been a lot of stopping and starting with Storm. But now that she's the Queen Regent of Araco on Mars, now it seems like they've got something for her. And this issue, really leans into that. She is absolutely the main character, at least of this issue. And the first 3 pages really set the tone for what Storm's story feels like it's going to be going forward. I thought those were some really powerful pages. And she had the best pages in the book, I think.
Yeah, I found her stuff really captivating. But everything else I was not interested in.
Really?
Yeah, it started off strong and kind of fell from there. The drama of the sort of the vote, I think at least for me, I haven't been following where she's been at, so this is like a reintroduction to where sort of a status quo is. It was a lot of fun. And she's looking good.
Well, I mean,
Can't
it
deny
definitely
that.
helps with Stefano Caselli on art. I am a huge Caselli fan, so I've been a Caselli fan since like friggin' Initiative. So like anything that Caselli does, I'm into. And then seeing like Caselli kind of get more of like an, geez, I've been watching too much wrestling. More of a top of the card booking, is refreshing. Because I feel like outside of like Immortal X-Men, this is like the other book that's been launching. Like at least that I've seen promotional footage on. And what I really liked about it is that it's essentially Storm trying to control every toxic masculine X-Men character out there. It's just angry men. It's Vulcan. It's Thunderbird. You can say Sunspot's toxic in a different way. He's not really an angry person, but he's got other issues. Magneto and Cable, which is like, it's like the most machismo in a book, and it's nice to see kind of Storm be that foil to it, which I'm pretty excited for. And then Brand's there too. So
Yeah, it's an interesting group of characters to be sure, because you do have the characters that Tyler just listed off, but then you have the whole Oracle element of it as well. This is the book for Iska the Unbeaten, who I think of all the Oracle characters is probably the most popular. She's just a ton of fun.
I liked Bay more.
Bay too.
Anubis.
Bay's cool.
Bay's
Bang.
Bay is Bay. That's fair. I don't know. I came away from that event really loving Iska, and her dialogue here is some of the best I thought in the whole book. So there's a vote that happens basically to decide whether Oracle will be its own thing and just live peacefully, or head on back to Amenth and go back to war. And the vote goes to peace. And Iska, when discussing the vote and how upset she is that they're not just going to go to war, she actually didn't vote. She elected to abstain from the vote. So she
libertarian of Araco.
Says,
my vote doesn't matter anyway. I'm not going to win. So
well, no, her point was the exact opposite. She says, my mutant power is not to lose. If I voted, the vote would always go my way, and I prefer to keep that powder dry. Just really good dialogue. I think Al Ewing has really found his groove in a lot of ways. And Kale mentioned that some of the outside scenes that don't involve Storm aren't as good. And I do agree with that. But I think that so much of the issue is focused on characters that I cared about and that Al Ewing also seems to care about. Then I think more often than not, the dialogue landed for me.
Who else in that group besides Storm and I guess Iska are you considering there?
Abigail Brand. I think that Al Ewing is a big fan of her. He wrote her in Sword, and I thought her dialogue was also crisp. And he also brings us an interesting look at Thunderbird, who also makes an appearance. I liked his dialogue too. He's angry, and I get why. Like, it's easy to understand why. I haven't seen Thunderbird literally ever in a comic before. And I know he was just resurrected, but I haven't seen whatever that is. So here's my first, time seeing him. And I'm like, oh man, this dude is pissed off and he has every right to be. I can't wait to see how this unfolds. Al Ewing just setting the table,
That's the thing with like Thunderbird though, is that like he doesn't have much of a, like, his wiki is mostly the fallout from his death, really.
Right.
So seeing Cable kind of really fuck with him for that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
You had a plane to catch.
Yeah. And the fact that he's the Summers too, and I'm pretty sure Cyclops had something to do with the whole explosion too. Yeah, it's good, and like the fact that like this is a character who was never resurrected. He was in like that one where there was like Selene bringing all the zombie X-Men in. I forget what that one was. Somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, imagine a character who like can see like, oh, all the X-Men always come back at some point or another, even before Krakoa. You guys didn't even try with me. You just replaced me with my brother, and like nothing against my brother, but like, what the fuck? And he just dips Krakoa. Like I kind of get it. It's a cool, character evolution. Mm-hmm. I'm with it. Necrosha, yes, thanks, Matt. It's Necrosha.
Matt saying in the Twitch chat, the two Marks liking it and the other two not enjoying it, a must not read. Hey, wait a second. Am I okay? Forget me. Fuck me. I thought Tyler was like your best friend, dude. No. Oh gosh. Poor choice of words.
That's why we had a podcast. We didn't agree on a lot of comic book stuff. So
fair enough. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good here. Marco, you haven't really spoken up. What are you thinking, man?
I think overall I had fun with it. Like, regardless of how I felt about some of the dialogue in the back half, I think that it was still fun. I'm interested on the politics end of it. That's been the most interesting part for me, even for something like Immortal X-Men, right? And some of the stuff that's been coming up post Magneto, like that was cool too, to be able to see him. It reminds me of when what's his face, Apocalypse, right, has also decides he's gonna retire and put down the sword and all that stuff. And it's interesting to be able to see those kinds of characters of power decide, I'm going to take it easy. Similar to something later, which I have opinions on. But it's cool to see. I think it's character growth for Magneto. I think at the very least, the premise of a brotherhood on Mars is kind of cool. It feels kind of punk rock and red for some reason, and I dig it.
Yeah, I'm into it. Sometimes the books will evoke like a phrase or a name that has meaning, but doesn't necessarily make sense in the context of what we're talking about, like the Thunderbolts announcement from a couple of months ago, the Jim Zub book. It's like, yeah, you're calling it Thunderbolts, but this doesn't feel like Thunderbolts. Storm saying, "Oh, we'll start a brotherhood," is like, okay, Storm, like that's cool, and it got a pop out of me. But realistically, like, no, you're not actually going to start a brotherhood.
I mean, even like the next book, is this a segue you're building to, Sean?
No.
Because Marauders is the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
Don't even get me started, Tyler. Listen,
we'll get to that book,
like
but I'm just talking about
X-Men
the
Red.
name. Yeah.
I want to love on this book as much as I can before I have to talk about a book that I did not like.
Sure. Let's talk about how good it is to see Magneto back in the purple and red.
Yeah,
It's
Very
like one of my favorite costumes in comics.
absolutely.
Oh, but that white looks so good though.
It's good, but even like
The
the Cullen
white's
Bunn,
alright.
the Cullen Bunn Magneto black suit that he wore in again in the death of the trial of Magneto. I always want to call it the death of Scarlet Witch because there was no trial of Magneto in that.
Yeah, it's funny that you called it character growth, but he was back in his purple briefs, and
Fair enough.
and he went off to be secluded, but he built himself a fucking castle.
Good acoustics.
Goofy, completely goofy. I also like how Storm, is going through this whole like traumatic thing, and she's really burdened by the weight of her responsibility. And so she makes the decision to like, you know what? You know how I'm gonna make myself feel better? I'm gonna completely change my costume, including some Michael Jackson-esque pauldrons, and completely bare six. No, that's a 4-pack. That's a 4-pack that could be a 6-pack. And just looking like a complete badass. Look at Storm, please. If you're watching this on video, look at Storm. She's perfect.
I gotta say, I really like that character design.
Me too.
Yeah.
It kind of
Beautiful.
merges the long-haired Storm with Mohawk Storm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of takes like the best of both worlds there, and also it's probably going to be like Jade Cargill's next entrance gear.
Yes. Other than, because I think Storm has some of the best costumes in comics.
Yeah.
But other than the one on the cover, actually, which I think is phenomenal, that costume she has now might be my favorite.
It looks a little militaristic too, with like the shoulder pads, the like red puffed out red collar, and then the lines coming down. Very ceremonial. Looks pretty cool. Badass.
Yeah, Storm is stepping on all of our throats with this fucking costume. Shenron said the white suit slaps. The bad one is the green suit. I agree. The green suit is really bad.
Not good.
I don't know. Just didn't work. Didn't work. But yeah, X-Men Red. I'm a big fan of this. Would be my book of the week on a lot of other weeks. But it just doesn't make it this week because of another book that we're going to be talking about. I'm very excited to follow this. I was going to say I read this week in a certain order where I read Marauders first, and I was going to say, man, I don't know if I care anymore about the whole like X-Men thing. And then I read this.
That's funny. That's where I'm at.
Just in
Genuinely,
general.
I think I might have read Marauders first. Actually, now that you say that,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, pull. Easy pull.
Agreed.
Pull.
Yeah.
Pull for Storm.
trade weight
Fair.
at best. Trade weight.
At best.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude, that's harsh.
I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling
right.
it anymore.
Got Storm on the cover.
Post Hickman, come on. I'm
All right.
tired.
We got Ewing and Gillen though.
I already said Gillen didn't do it for me. Ewing is barely towing the line here, man.
Oof.
He's gonna have to pull some work with this Storm stuff.
Some of that
like
outfit's
I
not
said,
working.
I liked what he did with Storm. But everything else, you had your trademark X-Men guys starting a bar and getting into a bar fight over nothing.
Yeah. fair.
Tyler, did you call out the Red Lagoon?
Oh yeah, I mean, I like that it's more of a Star Wars cantina instead of a tiki
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
But yeah, gotta be a space.
All
bar,
right.
so. Oh, so Matt highlighting his
Wow.
message here.
Yeah.
We back in the Cullen Bunn
son
era
of a
X-Men
bitch.
quality. That's
No, man.
Matt, you can't lie.
Harsh.
Cullen Bunn's Magneto series, really good.
It was cool. It was cool.
I think it was Declan Shelby working on that too.
Oh, okay.
Early Declan, I believe.
Okay.
Some good stuff there. Some good stuff there. At least we're not post Utopia. Oof. Or like right before Hoxpox, where they were just killing characters left and right. That was
Matthew Rosenberg, dude, listen, bro. I will contend that run, not bad. Not bad.
it was depressing.
Yeah.
I had too much shit
It
going
was.
on in real life that was not escapism for me. Maybe that's how he
Wait.
coped, but it wasn't for me.
You mean Wolfsbane getting stomped out by some random goons?
Doesn't Dust commit suicide in it or something like that? Or
Yeah.
Blindfold does. Blindfold.
someone commits suicide? Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah. That was rough.
Depressing ass
Us.
book.
CW Gordon said, "Yeah, that Magneto series was the only Bunn X-Men I read, so that sounded like a compliment." Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool, but that era was not good.
Wasn't that like right after the Terrigen gas got released and everything?
Somewhere in there,
I
yeah.
think it's right
yeah,
before.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Let's talk about Marauders. Let's just get into it.
Buh.
Yeah.
So before we start, did you guys read all of Marauders at all? The previous run?
We reviewed almost every issue on the show,
Yeah,
but I think we fell off after a while.
We fell off right after Ten of Swords.
Yeah.
You read about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So
at,
like the first half. I
two-thirds of
guess.
it. Yeah.
So this is Steve Orlando doing the writing. Much touted arrival in at the X desk. Steve Orlando, Eleonora Calini on art, Matt Miller on colors, and Ariana Mayer on letters and production. Okay, so full disclosure, I did not read the Marauders special that they put out.
It's important because they reference it every step of the way.
Yeah.
Editor's note.
I
It is Matt.
can't believe what I read. The big question coming into this book was, how are they going to make it make sense that Cassandra Nova can be on a team with the other mutants? And yeah, we all had that same question about Apocalypse. The way Apocalypse was used was to say his presence in House and Powers was to say, hey, this is a new era, right? That was the character that they used to make that point. And everything after that justified Apocalypse being a member of the mutant community. And it worked. We got it. Because Apocalypse was not anti-mutant. That wasn't the point of what he was doing. Did he kill mutants? Absolutely. Was he inherently anti-mutant? No. Enter Cassandra Nova, now 3 years into the Krakoan experiment, and they're trying to do a similar thing. She even directly references Apocalypse and says that Apocalypse has killed more mutants than her. I beg to fucking differ.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And she says that Sinister killed more mutants than her. Sinister has absolutely not killed more mutants than
Do
Cassandra
clones
Nova.
count? Do clones count? Because then maybe.
Millions.
but he's made people. Like he's made clones. Like if anything, that's a negative, right?
He's actively discounting his own kill count.
Yeah. Like what?
It's like when you self-kill in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Does it count?
No, you lose a point. So then like your kills, it never mind.
I was having a hard time reading this book to begin with.
So you
And then
came
they
into it with negativity. Is that fair?
I did. And the first couple of pages didn't help with that. Oh, let's rescue this random mutant guy that we've seen 100 million times. Not that character, but that type of scene.
Yeah.
And then it's right into Cassandra Nova, and it's like, no, you're not going to convince me. Sorry, Marvel. Love you, but you're not going to convince me that Cassandra Nova, who has killed millions of mutants, a lot of them that were children, by the way, who launched Grant Morrison's entire run, who's not a mutant. Like, sorry, not a mutant.
Yeah. Do we have this whole book worked on the premise that she's also a mutant? Like she
has mutant DNA because she's
a Mumindrai of Xavier, right? Like was that
right?
synopsis I
She
made on
stole his DNA essentially. Okay. So a literal mutant, yes, but a mutant in terms of, fighting the struggle, all that good stuff. No, completely anti-mutant. This is bullshit.
Psylocke probed her mind. She believes it.
Yeah, because Jean Grey made her. Jean Grey gave her guilt in the last X-Men Red series. Jean Grey made her feel guilt. The idea is that she doesn't have the normal human range of emotions, so she never felt bad about what she had done. Jean Grey made those feelings come in, and that's the Cassandra Nova we're seeing today. This is not the way.
I will say that I didn't hate it. Did I like it? I don't know if I'd go that far either. But there's enough that I do like where I can at least give it an issue 2.
Really?
And the things I like was I actually did like the art. I thought the Eleonora Carlini art was different compared to all the other X books. It felt it didn't feel X-Men has kind of had this house style, I think, since Hoxpox, and this felt like a distinct step away from that. It's a lot more like this feels like a Spider-Man artist, if that makes sense. It's a lot more faster.
Kinetic.
It's exaggerated,
Yeah.
I don't expect Kitty Pryde to be hitting dynamic poses that exaggerate her in almost like a manga sort of way, or somebody who's at least been influenced by it. So I actually enjoy the art. I also really, really, really like the Shi'ar. So like anything with the Shi'ar, I'm a sucker for it.
See, that I would be too, because if the Shi'ar come in, that means you get fucking Cyclops' dad, the Starjammers.
Oh, he's in Captain Marvel right now. And this week there was an issue with I was gonna make a sign for Chode Watch whenever Chode shows up in the book. I want to have like a Chode Watch because Starjammers, man, is my jam. I love Starjammers.
But something about this, man, they went to space and I went, nah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Word.
So even the final page, Cal, you didn't get like a little bit like, oh yeah, that's cool to see Eric the Red, who I only really know from the animated series.
I love Eric the Red.
Not really.
No, I thought that would be one of those like weird nostalgic pops for you, but
it got the pop, and I'm vaguely curious as to what they're gonna do. But I think on the same level of that of the Cassandra Nova thing, I'm just a bit like, this isn't gonna be good.
And I think what it is, because I felt the same way, Kale. I think what it is that everything before it, the way we got to that reveal, isn't great. So it's like, cool, here's this thing I would like, but it's the lead in is everything I don't want.
Fair.
On the art piece, I think the style started to work for me better when they got into space. I thought for whatever reason it was a more appropriate. I don't know. The lines felt more appropriate. The color started to pop a little bit more. When they were on the island, it was kind of just like, whatever. Like it felt very Disney-esque in some of like the eyes, the lips. When we first got introduced
That's
to,
why I liked it.
no. I'm not saying that's a negative. I'm just saying like that was what it reminded me of. The what is it when we see in one of the instances Cassandra's like smiling and it looks like a Cruella de Vil sort of like it just reminded me of that sort of, it evoked that style, and it worked much better once we got into space and got to see more of the out of these more wacky designs and drawings. I think that contrast worked really well, and I started to have fun with it a bit more.
I like that once they get into space, literally everybody has a problem with Cassandra Nova, and nobody does anything about it. And that's just being part of a superhero team. One person makes a decision, and the rest of us have to go along with it.
Okay. I want to address something that CW Gordon said in the chat. They're all back now, right? Mostly, which was in response to my rant about Cassandra Nova. So the mutants that died in Genosha that Cassandra killed are not necessarily the mutants that we would see in a comic book. These are millions of mutants, again, many of them children, who are not characters in the books. Would they have been revived right now? But by now, rather, who knows? There's the five are working every day, constantly, to revive as many mutants as possible. Does the fact that some amount, because they're not all alive, does the fact that some amount of them are back negate the fact that she killed them in the first place? To me, no.
Didn't Scarlet Witch try and bring them back in?
Yeah, she did as zombies.
Al Ewing's, in Al Ewing's What's It?
It didn't work out too great.
Yeah.
So that's my answer to that.
Empire. Yeah, thanks, Gordon. He was joking.
Okay, fair enough. Well, either way, I wanted to put that out.
It like he's a Genosha denier. Like, oh, well, let me. How dare you? This is a serious comic book thing I need to talk about.
And I also say I'm not all the way sure what was happening towards the end of this book.
I don't know who Eric the Red is. Looks cool.
Marco,
I just mean like the space fight, like whatever that was. Like I don't know what that was.
I didn't get a lot of it because somebody used some kind of special power and it was completely wasted on the page because you could not tell what was happening.
You would need to tell me what Eric the Red's power set is too, because I do not remember.
I don't even think he had powers in the show. He shot that gun. Remember, he had I think he had like a little blaster.
He was with Black Tom, right? And Juggernaut? Was that
that? Yeah, absolutely. He didn't do anything.
He had a cool
he just
Zardoz looking costume though.
He was some dominatrix looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Also, speaking of art and the character designs, why does Cassandra Nova have the fatty? What's going on with that?
No, those are old like Jungle Cruise skipper pants. There, those aren't.
Have the what?
The fatty, bro.
What does that mean?
What like
this week on White Splitting with Kale Ward?
Dude, look, she's double cheeked up. Can you look at that?
It's not even Thursday yet. No, so
cheeked up.
Okay, Sean. Two things here. First off, she's allowed to be cheeked up. That's totally fine.
She's got that.
In fact, I think when the 5 brings you back, there's like a little checklist that you can do in advance to be like, yo, you want a fatty? And Goldball's got you on that one. But I think those are like those old, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you ever watch The Mummy? Like that time period of like explorers that would wear those pants that kind of stuck out near the hips.
They're poofy on the side.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
I don't think that's those. I think in Morrison's run she wore those, but I think these are just like mom jeans.
Oh, she got the Dexter's mom cake.
Yeah.
She should be skin and bones. She has no right to have all that going on back there. No right at all.
If you're a genocidal maniac, you do not get a fat ass.
You should have a bony butt.
You think they got like some kind of like good surgery at Krakoa? Like they got like all those like things with like medication where like they have like medicines that can work. Do you think they have like?
You think she has
like,
a BBL?
Yeah. Just Krakoa injections, like.
Forget about Miami. Forget about all these other places. If you want the BBL, you go to Krakoa because you know that's just not going to explode in your ass. They're not gonna put literal junk in your ass. You're not gonna die getting a BBL in Krakoa. And if you do, they'll resurrect you.
Yeah, it's
money back guarantee.
You see those flights.
I knew what BBL meant. I guess I don't.
Those flights from JFK to Krakoa are expensive, and you got half the crew is just not even sitting down. They're on their backs the whole time.
You got to go through several different countries to get to Krakoa from JFK, and it's worth it if you come out looking like Cassandra Nova.
She's Cassandra Nova, more like Fashion Nova.
How old? Cause she's got to be at least 60 years old. Professor X is an old man.
You know what? I'm all for it.
Really?
Good exercise.
Yeah.
Put in those squats. Put in the work.
Bald head and everything.
BBLs aside, pass. I just can't. I didn't like this.
Okay, it's a butt lift. It's a butt lift.
Okay, thank you. All right. Yeah. I love that was an entirely a Tyler and Sean bit. Marco and I are just on camera.
Marco's still in his meeting. He's got to be
professional. Did you guys just entirely skip the text pages?
Oh my god!
Oh Jesus!
I looked at that and I looked at both of those and I went, nah.
I read about. Okay, I think as a whole, I think I'm done with the text pages.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I liked Hickman's text pages were because they weren't all text. They were meant like documents. They had graphs in them, and like Hickman would do the design for those graphs himself. Everyone now just uses it as like, oh, I can do some prose. Like that's not
info dump. Yeah,
I explicitly read comic books, so I don't have to look at words. Like this is how I get reading it.
I want pictures and words.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just words. X-Men. Stop doing
Silmarillion.
this.
I would try reading the Silmarillion again if that was the case. Still haven't finished it.
That first one though, I that scared me. I was like, ooh, nope. Let's keep going.
Useless. It's just Bishop's opinion about the members of the team that we're about to see anyways, and we already saw on the page before. I don't care what Bishop thinks.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're gonna use it to provide context for the story, not individual characters. I think that's the way that he was Hickman would use it. Was he'd build up either the world that they were existing in. He would include the timelines for context for information that is going to be revealed down the line. Like here, you could have, I don't even know what to say. You could have revealed something about the Shi'ar and why they're heading over to go see them or something. Like there's more that could be done that services the actual narrative.
Oh my God! Listen,
can I just say one thing about the art though? What ethnicity is Bishop? Can you guys answer that? Sean, do you know the answer to that?
You tell me. I don't know.
Marvel
doesn't know. Storm's white.
Marco, do you know, like, canonically, do you know Bishop's ethnicity?
Canonically, I barely know Bishop.
Bishop's from the future. They didn't have.
Dude, he's Filipino.
They're beyond it.
He's supposed to be Filipino. He was based after Luis Portacio.
What?
Where I feel I feel like people like.
What are you saying, Tyler?
Bishop's he's everyone draws him like a black dude, like which is fine, but like I don't know. I always got confused by that.
Are you saying that Bishop is not black?
He's supposed to be Filipino, like canonically. And I don't know.
Luke Bishop,
son of an Aboriginal mutant refugee who fled to America from Australia.
Maybe it was so in the trading cards he's listed as Filipino. So are the trading cards not canon?
You're getting on the. Hold on.
Sorry, I just
People
Googled
listen to
Bishop's
this
ethnicity.
podcast. People listen to this podcast to hear us speak about these things in a
About
way that's
BBLs.
informative, right?
Well, I mean,
And
it's informative.
you're
exactly.
basing your knowledge of Bishop on the trading cards.
I'm basing my knowledge on of Marvel Comics on the one thing that almost killed them. Yes.
Unreal. Can you guys pull pass or book of the week or trade weight so we can get on to something?
I say
Pass.
Pull it right into the trash.
pull. I say pull.
Shenron says Hickman tricked me into reading these kinds of pages. Every time I saw it, I put into, is this important or skip it? Exactly. That's the point that we're at with those, where it's like, okay, you look at it and you go, wait, should I invest my time into this? Am I going to feel foolish after I take 5 minutes to read this out? The answer is most likely yes. Let's talk about something that I feel a lot better about. Devil's Reign number 6. This is the finale issue, except for the Omega issue that's coming out soon. Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto, Marcio Menez on colors, and Clayton Cowles did the letters. What a way to end this series.
Not what I expected.
Not what I expected, I guess, but definitely what it needed to be. Definitely.
I liked the conflict that we like the climax of this issue where he's Kingpin's pinned down and Matt has a choice and he ultimately gets the I guess the morality from Elektra, which was interesting. You know, like, I'm the assassin, that's not you, and he manages to stop him with the whatchamacallit? The
gem.
Cane?
the gem.
The
Yes.
purple gem.
Like
The pimp cane.
it played so well. It was a lot of fun leading up into it. And I'm glad that Kingpin gets to retire, Like he's off on some nice island, living his life, sipping on margaritas, eating shrimp cocktails. He's gonna do well.
You think Kingpin's a shrimp cocktail kind of guy?
For sure. Oysters.
He's an anything cocktail kind of
I
guy.
think. That's true. Yeah.
Look at how big that boy is.
So
That's all muscle, Kale.
Oh, you got to eat to feed that muscle.
it's true.
Fair
That's
enough.
true. So I will say, like, when I read like comics, if I read anything, I don't really read in anyone's voice, except for Kingpin. I always read fucking D'Onofrio. Like I always
Hell
hear
yeah.
it in my head. It was just kind of nuts. But like, I think this issue was really good because it got to that climactic battle right away. It's like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get it out of the way halfway through the book. We're not gonna just, which I feel like a lot of like event books get hung up on, where they don't allow the fallout to really breathe. Where this kind of did, and it explained the fallout a little more. I think it is interesting because the bad guy still wins, but the good guy also kind of wins. It's weird. It's like an everybody wins situation, which is non-traditional for an event comic. It's not as black and white, which I think has been Zdarsky's Daredevil run this entire time so far.
This
Some
is
color, Tyler.
this is the most like Marvel / DC event ending ever, in the sense that it literally just says, hey, everything that just happened, yeah, it happened, but everybody's fine. Ultimately, everything's fine. And we'll be able to continue to tell the stories we feel like telling after this. Nothing really too affected one way or the other. That's okay. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't want Kingpin's a human, so it's harder to say like, oh, he died, right? Because if he died, he died. That's it. How do you justify his resurrection? So that's okay. But I thought emotionally what this issue delivered was what was strongest about it. Stronger than the actual resolution or anything that happens, how people react to the things and feel about them is great. So last issue, Kingpin killed Matt's brother, and Matt is pissed. Daredevil wants death. And Elektra does too. If you read the Elektra mini, she's coming for Kingpin too. So both Daredevils coming for that ass. So we get basically a tag team match.
Could be worse.
Double Daredevil versus Kingpin and Typhoid Mary. So it's a mixed tag match. It goes pretty well for the faces. Kingpin and Typhoid Mary get beat on pretty bad to the point where Daredevil's gonna Matt Murdock's gonna kill Kingpin, and Elektra says, "Hey man, do you really want to do this? Is that who you are?" And he's like, "Nah, I guess not." So they just don't kill him. I don't think you can have Daredevil get the kill here. I thought Elektra would do it. Kind of wish she did, just for her character's sake. She's more been the actor throughout this story so far. She's been the one to go there. And I kind of wanted to see her do it. But Kingpin living to fight another day, I think it obviously leads to more stories. So, fine.
Well, I think with the Elektra thing, though, I think her story has been that her not doing it is where her story
It's the
was
action.
Yeah, which is
which I
fair.
really enjoy it because it's a true evolution of the character. I think any other time, if anyone was writing Elektra, she would have killed him. Like that's always her thing. Like she always is almost on the good side and then falls off again. So kind of like making her choose to not do it is real evolution for the character.
For the way that they, to your point, Sean, on how like they allow Kingpin to live another day, I thought that was a super clean break for Zdarsky's part to be able to, put him away for a little bit, and with the sun in play, that was a good swerve for me. The fact is like, oh, you're gonna be president now, we'll make this all disappear, and then he's just like, well, no, fuck it. Like I'm the one in power. I'm like, oh, cool, that's true to his character. They got me. I thought for a second he was gonna go for that.
Yeah, that ruled.
Yeah.
And then for him to pull up his son, right? I've provided the story of a king for the Kingpin, right? I was like, oh, that was good. That was real good. Plus, you're gonna put him away. Plus, you have to deal with the son now. Like that was all done extremely well.
It kept everybody strong. Like Kingpin should not physically beat Daredevil in a fight. But he gets his wins in other ways. And I think this was a great way to do that, to keep him strong. We're interested in what he does next, what's going to bring him back into crime, back into New York. But for now, it's left to his son, who has been gifted trauma by his father, because Matt's brother was Butch's friend, right? So his father killed his best friend and said, I did this all for you. Jesus, man. It's awful.
I think the real strength of this issue really wraps up this event in a way that makes it a Daredevil story.
Sure.
More so than what we said about the other issues. We said it at various points that this feels like a better Civil War 2. But the way this wraps up, like you were saying, it gives the big Marvel event thing its finish, and then it brings it back down to Matt and Wilson and refocuses the narrative on them. And really puts the hammer down where it needs to be. And man, what a finish for that.
Completely agreed. And I think someone mentioned in our chat that Luke Cage got let down. I think as far as this story goes, like the story of Devil's Reign in Devil's Reign, I don't think so. Because this is a Daredevil story primarily, and there were a lot of characters who needed service. And honestly, Luke Cage gets a great amount of pages here. Like when you really look at it, compared to other heroes not named Daredevil, Luke Cage is here. He's the one who is in a position of, being controlled by Purple Man, who of course is the primary adversary of his wife, Jessica Jones. And Cage is able to resist that and save this child, save Purple Man's child. And Purple Man gets taken down. And I thought that was also a really huge emotional moment, at least for me, that Luke Cage was the one who was able to resist and put Purple Man down. I really appreciated that.
See, I liked that part, but I also disliked how inactive Jessica was in with that. I think Jessica and Purple Man are so intertwined that seeing him get taken down while she's on the sidelines kind of annoyed me a bit.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I mean, this sets up. I mean, I don't know if you have you guys seen the spoiler variant for this book, this issue?
No, but go ahead.
It's Luke Cage as the mayor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So this sets up Luke Cage as a very prominent figure now, which is exciting because he hasn't been for years.
And it's very different. It's a hugely different role for him and for Marvel's New York. I can't think of a time where the mayor was like a hero.
We haven't had a
except for Rudy
non-Kingpin.
Giuliani, obviously.
Oh my God. I think you just gave me an aneurysm.
Well, I mean,
Well, that-
how long have we
We
had
got us through
Kingpin?
9/11. What do you mean?
There you go.
Jesus.
He's America's mayor.
Also great Mass Singer participant, I must say.
Oh.
Can't wait for those episodes. But Sean, do you know when Soul's Daredevil run was? Was that
Gosh, yeah.
five, 6 years ago?
2015,
14.
somewhere in there, yeah.
Because I think that's when he became mayor, right?
Kingpin, right? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been a while.
It has.
With that
It
status
has.
quo being a thing.
It's been a while. I think it was a good turn for Kingpin. I really enjoy it when they like similar to Norman, how he was in a position of prominence, but not because villains have to be defeated, right? And if you're doing a 6-issue run or arc, at the end of that arc, generally the villain will lose. But here they were able to tell a long form story with Kingpin in a position of power, and finally he's being toppled. So for those of us who've been following the story for years now, this actually has real weight to it, similar to what they did with Norman. I love that. And I wish they would do more things like that. You can't always have the villain be mayor or president, but finding ways to make them almost untouchable. Kingpin was untouchable for years. He finally got touched. So yeah, and on the art stuff, like Marco Cicchetto is one of my favorite artists. This is what an event looks like. At Marvel, event comics look like this. If they don't look like this, they don't have the weight to them that I want them to have. Because you have to have a superstar artist, and he is one of them. And it's not just him, because the colors, this is one of the best colored books that I have read in a long time. The use of purple. And obviously, it's an obvious choice, but it looks so damn good. Just to use purple whenever Purple Man's powers are in effect, draping the purple in with the red of the fight between Daredevil and Kingpin, like it just has this violent overtone, but that there's more at work than just what we're seeing. Like it helps to tell the story so well. I think from an art standpoint, this is one of the best books that we've seen so far in 2022.
Yeah,
this looks gorgeous.
Great work.
That Fantastic Four spread where they join with Moon Knight.
Oh my God.
Give me this guy in every Marvel event book going forward.
That's the Fantastic Four, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's them. That's what they look like. It makes me feel so good to see these characters look this way. And it takes me back to when I first saw some of them in Civil War. That was the first time I saw the Fantastic Four. That's how they look to me. So this feels like that, and it makes me happy. This was my book of the week. It's phenomenal.
Yep. Same.
Yeah.
I think mine was X-Men Red, just for the
Radiant Red? What?
wasn't that?
Oh man. Speaking of Radiant Red, that's our last book that we're going to be reviewing this week. So we skipped issue 1. I'll say that I don't feel like that really impacted my read of this. Reading the Radiant Red special that they did within, I think it was within Radiant Black. One of the issues was focused on Radiant Red. That informed everything that I felt like I needed to know about this issue.
Is that Supermassive?
No,
there was a
dragon.
It's like issue 6 or something.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Tyler, did you read that issue? No. Okay.
Nope.
So you basically don't know what the hell's going on.
I know it's David LaFuente art.
That's knowing a lot. Speaking of which, Cherish Chen wrote this. New name to me. David LaFuente did the art. Mikel Muerto did the colors, and Diego Sanchez on the letters. I was interested to see what the story would be with Radiant Red, because Radiant Red is not really a hero, sort of a reluctant hero, a person who was bestowed these powers and then goes on to use them for personal gain, which we know is a big no-no. And with an interesting kind of hook. But I don't think this issue firmly capitalized on any of that.
The ending gives us a hint at where this series is going to go, but that's a first issue ending. Like
in issue 2.
Yeah, at the end of issue 2.
Mm-hmm.
So like I read the first issue today, and I just, I hate to beat this Radiant drum, but man, it just was not interesting.
Yeah.
And it continues like, you're just supposed to be along for this ride where nothing happens.
Right. Her being blackmailed, I feel like it felt to me like they have a gambling debt.
Yeah.
So you don't pay off a gambling debt. You don't have to pay off a gambling debt with money you made from your job, right? Like the police are not looking into that. You don't have to launder your money to pay a gambling debt. You can just pay the debt.
Speaking from experience, Sean.
No, but it's a common sense.
Yeah,
like
yes.
The IRS is not involved in that. Like I didn't really get that on his face. Like she could have just said, nah, actually I'm going to pay my debt and live my life.
Yeah, but the IRS doesn't come and break a leg, right?
Yeah, like, or she could just not pay the debt. She's a superhero. Come for me. Like, what?
But this guy phases. She can kick his ass. Kick her ass.
This guy's not even the problem in her life. The gambling goons are regular guys. Like, she faces off with a new villain named Shift.
Kind of cool.
Who, yeah, cool name. But like, why is he so slumped? Like, I'm showing it on YouTube and Twitch. Like, his shoulders are slumped. He doesn't even look hard. He looks.
I think that's just LaFuente, man.
Yeah.
Like, LaFuente's art. You're either 12 or you have shoulder problems.
I really like LaFuente's art. I've always been a big LaFuente fan because of how cartoony it is. It's almost like two-dimensional Pixar in a way with
I can see that.
Human designs of it.
I really liked it when it on Ultimate Spider-Man when he was on that.
Sure,
And I've liked it here or there, when I've seen it, but I don't know if it just unfortunately is tied to this, but I didn't like it.
And then the fight that we get here is Radiant beating up a bunch of goons and then having a fight with Shift, only to reveal that all of this was a ploy to get her there. So why did the fight have to happen? Couldn't they have just not fought? What if one of those guys died? Like, that was a waste of time. And so everything just feels kind of contrived. I know this is a mini series. It's probably going to get us to the point where Radiant Red is a hero. But I kind of like the ambiguity of her character a little bit more. And I almost don't want this. Like, I don't know that I want this series in general.
And that's kind of how I feel about Radiant Black as well. It's just like, in one of the letters pages at some point, they talked about how it's never going to be a team book.
Right.
The book is called Radiant Black, and therefore this one's Radiant Red. And I think I said this before, but that's not what these characters need.
Yeah. They're more interesting. I don't know. Like, how Power Rangers are.
Oh, yeah, I know.
As characters, right? As individual people, they're interesting, but they leave space so that other people can be interesting. And then they come together and they're interesting together, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This feels like all these characters are interesting, But then when they have their own book, it's almost like it's too much. If they were playing off of each other, that would be cool because they have different personalities and different reasons why they're doing this, but none of them chose this. I feel like there's so much meat there, but no one wants to go there. And I'm not sure why.
And you have the extra added drama of these people you call your teammates, finding out you're a bank robber, or
Right.
learning that you're an old man with grandchildren or whatever the fuck. Like,
Yeah.
like there's drama that they're just leaving on the table that could elongate what they're trying to do in a good way.
It could add depth that they're not deciding to pick up here for whatever reason. And I think when they first had like the crossover issue, 7 or 8 in Radiant Black, I think that they were just kind of bantering and bouncing off each other. I don't even think like we really got to understand their characters. Higgins, I read up to the 5th volume, I think, of Power Rangers. And to your point, John, right? He's able to balance those characters, and each of them, sure, there's history because of the TV show and whatnot, but still within that, he's able to build upon those individual characters. Where here, I think because they're letting the story writing be spread out across different writers, similar to what was happening when we started getting a little frustrated with the X-Men, where they were deviating from sort of the plot and the concise characterization by Hickman. I think here they started this like that, and that made it a little messy. And because we didn't get clear characterization in those issues where they appeared, here we're kind of just left with, well, I don't know how to feel, and even if I did, I don't know how to base these characters off of, because my first exposure to them was also ambiguous.
I would like this more if there was only Radiant Black and the one big team up book where they're all together, and that's an ongoing, and that's it. And both were written by Kyle Higgins, because Kyle Higgins is talented. I'm not saying Cherish Chen is not. That's not my point at all. I'm just saying that Kyle Higgins is kind of the one who seems to have the best grasp on what this is, and the most, history as a successful comics writer. So I feel like he's got the capable hands. I'd like to see him tackle all this stuff exclusively, and I think it'd be easier. I really do. I just don't care enough about any of these individual characters to continue to buy them. I don't.
Yep.
To me, pass. And I know there's Radiant fans who always come for us when we review these books and we're not happy with them. But it is what it is.
There are fans that do that, though. That's a good sign, right?
Well,
yeah.
It's just such a shame. Like, the hype for this series, especially for me, was just off the charts. And this just it.
Do you feel burned, Cal?
Maybe not burned. Disappointed for sure. I don't know. I mean, maybe not at this point. Maybe I've been burned and now I'm just kicking the ashes.
Set potential.
Pass.
Hard pass.
Same. Yep.
Pass.
All
Thanks so
right.
much, Catherine.
Let's jump into comics tag. So last week I was absent, but Tyler had been tagged by me the week before. So Tyler, why don't you go ahead and say who you tagged, what you tagged them with, and let's get into it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's nice to see Cassandra Nova in the comics tag pick. We're finally at that book now, so it has even more fun.
Amazing.
Involved. But Marco, did you read your tag?
I did. I did my homework. And
Deadpool Bad Blood #1.
Yep, by let's see, by Rob Liefeld. The script by Chris Sims, Chad Bowers, and Rob Liefeld on art. Inks, obviously Liefeld. Shelby Robertson, Adelso Corona, and Marat Michaels, with Romulo Fajardo Jr. on color. And this was a little wacky, it was. I didn't know what to expect. I've read the Daniel Way stuff for Daredevil, and so I'm familiar
Deadpool
with
or
which one?
Deadpool or Daredevil. You said Daredevil.
Oh, sorry, Deadpool.
Okay.
And that's most of my exposure, and so I enjoyed that run, thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of fun, really stupid, and the this was not that. He only has the one narrator, in his head. Usually it's him plus like two others, right? The fact that he fights a dude named Thumper is just silly. This big ass dude. Let me see if I can pull him up. This hulking monstrosity, right? Super cool, like from a design standpoint. Gets his ass beat, gets killed by him, wakes up, and then Domino's next to him. And then they go into a flashback of when they were back on with the X Force. And
That's Rob Liefeld's every day when he was back on X Force. He just has flashbacks to that.
war flashbacks, man. That's all he wanted to explore here was Cable, this prophet looking motherfucker in the middle over here. I can't even. Goddamn
Not
glare.
Domino, is it?
No, Domino's also there, but it's just some other dude that I
Also,
don't
that's
know
not
who
the
this
real
is.
Domino.
Warpath, I believe.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and then it just gets derailed from there, where it focuses only on X Force, them entering this. What is it called? Loten Island in Norway on the Mutant Liberation Front, and they go to save Deadpool. And next issue, apparently, they fight.
So
Yeah,
the thing I'm curious is your take on it, and this is the thing I have always been curious about with Rob Liefeld, modern Liefeld, and Deadpool, is that yes, Liefeld created Deadpool, but who Deadpool is now is not who he was when
not
Liefeld
this.
created it. So it's Liefeld trying to almost retcon his creation in a way, because yes, he designed it. That's it, really.
That's
That
interesting.
was Fabian Nicesia who was on the writing.
He was on the writing, but even then, the Deadpool was just a mercenary. He wasn't a
Yeah,
fourth
yeah,
wall
yeah,
breaking kind of guy. I mean, I think it was really was it Simone Gail Simone was one of the ones that really kind of gave the character that Deadpool. See, I think Daniel Way and Gail Simone are the more modern incarnations of who Deadpool is.
So you're
seeing-
saying that when Deadpool was first created in the early comics, that Deadpool was not wacky.
no,
No.
he wasn't.
normal dude.
Just a mercenary.
So the Merc with a Mouth is a newer.
It's later.
Wow.
It's post Liefeld, yeah.
He
So
was a
it's
two-eyed Deathstroke.
Yeah. So it's really interesting seeing Liefeld try to retrofit his character to fit that new mold, and
But
it
see, I don't
does
think
not
he-
work in my opinion.
I don't think he's necessarily doing that because he still goes for some of the memes, right? He has Taco Tuesday in here, right? He
That's
still
what I'm
has-
saying. Yeah, it's Liefeld
the
trying to do
bits.
something he didn't create.
Okay, I can see that a little bit more for sure. I think, you know what? I'll give him the art. So art was good. I'll give him the art, feet aside, but I'll give him the form. I'll give him the posing. I'll give him the action scenes. That was fun, but the writing itself, I can kind of see what you mean in the sense that he's sort of patching his less crazy version into this.
It feels like he got all his Deadpool from Walmart T-shirts. Like you mentioned, Taco Tuesday. Like that's cookie
Probably
cutter.
True.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Goes for the memes, and all respect to the memes, but like this page was fun though. After he dies, he's just on a unicorn and there's rainbows in the back. It's like heaven's awesome. Like he's being extra silly, and this is extra.
I got that T-shirt at Walmart. Like Deadpool riding a unicorn with a rainbow in the background. Like I like the weird.
Even the horse doesn't have feet. Look at that shit.
Also, I do like the cover though, because like Deadpool's feet are front and center. It's like Liefeld saying
Yeah.
"fuck you, everyone. I can draw feet.
Yeah.
Watch
Wait,
me."
he makes a joke about it when Domino pops up. Where is it? I'm gonna find it really quick. But he like addresses it. Oh, in the second page, he's like, my back was all kinds of busted up. Wasn't even sure my feet were still attached. Just as well, I guess. And then like crawls up and his feet pop up again on one of the panels. I mean, otherwise, it's okay. Nothing crazy. I'm not gonna pick up the second issue if there's another one.
That's how I felt about it. You can just you can just buy the whole thing in a trade right now if you want.
Oh, is this already published?
It was already published as a trade, yeah.
Okay.
Like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So who are you tagging and with what, Marco?
Okay, so I'm gonna tag. I can't tag back, right?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. Oh, but Tyler, you've been reading Eternals, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
More of this.
No. Hold on, Tyler. Are you a fan of Steve Niles?
Are you gonna have me read your Palace poll next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. It's A Town Called Horror, and it's Steve Niles, someone else on art, and
We'll get it's
yeah.
part of the Palace polls, but yeah. Steve Niles, can you refresh my memory on? I know the name, I don't know the work.
30 Days of Night.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mystery Society, I think, with that's early.
Yep. Mystery Society, Batman, Gotham County,
Early.
Simon Dark,
Okay. Yeah, I'll
big
check that
horror
out.
dude.
I mean, that
And
kind
I
of
like-
segues us right into the Palace polls if we want
Who
to.
does Saga?
Fiona Staples. Come on, buddy.
Okay, it is Fiona Staples, right?
Come on. What are you
I was
doing?
sitting here going, Fiona Staples. That's not right.
All right, so Palace polls.
I'll do that next week. So Palace polls is a little weird this week because Kale and Marco both chose Eternals number 11.
Let's go, Kale.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that cover.
Ooh,
Listen.
Oh, I thought you don't like Asada Ribic, huh?
Me? What?
Or who? Oh, it was Kale. It was
I've
Kale.
never
Kale.
said
I
that.
don't like Asad Ribic. No,
Yeah, it was Kale.
no, Asad
listen.
Ribic can go screw.
You can go eat shorts.
Okay.
Kale
but-
just gets challenged to do shit on this show and says
Yeah.
okay.
But I'm having fun.
Yes.
I like Gillen's Eternals more than X-Men at this point. To me, this feels a lot more like Gillen's sweet spot.
I think it also helps that these characters, not only say don't matter, but you can reinvent them without anyone caring. Like,
Yeah. It feels very similar to what he did with like the Wicked and the Divine. And I think I said this, when I was tagged and did Eternals. It's that being one step removed from basically anything, and he can give them a voice. You know, that's slightly different from everything else, and it's unique.
I'm so glad that you like this and that I turned on that you turned on this.
Listen, yeah, you turned me on.
that is a good cover, though. I do like that cover.
No, it's not.
And Marco, you also had A Town Called Terror by Steve Niles and Simon Cadran. Oh, Simon Cadrance's on this. Okay.
I've not heard of who that is.
The thing that always jumps out to me when I think of Kadransky is he did some Bendis stuff, I believe, Bendis DC stuff, but he also did I want to say it was Fear itself. What was the Sean? Maybe help me out on this. The DC event with the villains, where they had the 3D covers.
The DC event with the villains.
Yeah, with the 3D covers though, because Fear itself didn't have. Fear itself was the Marvel one.
I know what you're talking about. Oh my god, wasn't it Forever Evil?
There we go.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did the Scarecrow one.
Well, wait.
from what I
Can we
remember.
acknowledge that I know
No,
what
that
that
was
was?
pretty good. That was good.
Hey, well done, man.
Yeah, that was good. He did the Scarecrow issue.
You're not
Oh,
like
shit.
Sean, who can't figure out who Wildcat is. So
No.
you're all right.
No. That's not what we're gonna do. I can't know what I don't know. I've never been exposed, okay? And in all these years, we've been doing book clubs for 5 years. You've never picked a book with Wildcat in it. That tells me something, Kale.
Sean, I guarantee you've read a book with Wildcat in it.
I guarantee you I haven't.
Did you
He-
read any of
he's
the
in Kingdom Come.
Crises?
Huh?
Oh yeah, he was in Kingdom Come. Oh, the
They
female
didn't
one,
shout his
wasn't it?
ass out. He wasn't in.
Well, Dad, listen,
he
that
didn't
wasn't the
matter.
point.
He didn't matter.
That
Oh,
wasn't
yes,
the point.
matter.
They didn't
Well,
even say his name.
Me and Sean have the same.
I bet he
polls.
did. I bet they did.
Go ahead, pull it up.
Pull it up. Pull it up, Kale. Go for it.
Go
All
ahead.
right, we're gonna go to Sandman
ahead,
Universe
Tyler.
Nightmare Country #1 by James Tynion IV, Lisandro Esteren, and Yannick Paquette is on this.
No,
What
they
is this?
definitely did because he was part of the Batman Ra's al Ghul alliance with Lex Luthor.
And they said his name.
Ra's
Wildcat.
al Ghul?
All right.
Booyah.
Okay.
Okay, we can drop this now.
Okay, so I'm just looking this up real quick. What is Yannick Paquette doing on this? Oh, what is he doing art? He's doing art.
don't know.
Interesting.
I would assume the art.
Yeah, it's just he got third billing, which is confusing to me. Maybe it's
Maybe
off
he does
balance.
inks.
Oh, interesting.
No, it says artist from what I see. But yeah, this is the Corinthian. It's a Corinthian Sandman story.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. The
Sick.
Corinthian is by far the worst thing that comes out of Sandman. But he's the thing that I absolutely remember from Sandman.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to get into this.
You didn't like that?
No, I loved it.
Oh, okay.
The worst thing in that it stuck with me and I have
Okay.
nightmares about it.
Yeah, and Tynion's been on a roll lately. So, and from all the interviews, this seems like it's Tynion's dream job to be doing
Yeah.
something in Sandman.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that's exciting.
So go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just real quick, is Tinian co-writing this? Is that why Paquette's third billing?
So what's going on is Tinian is writing it fully, but the main story will be drawn by Lisandro, and then there will be a guest, a side story, some sort of nightmare that will be drawn by a guest artist every issue, and this one is Yannick Paquette.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Interesting.
I have very little interest in Sandman. Even what we read, like for a book club we did, was good. I enjoyed it, but I don't really care that much. It was Tinian's passion that made me decide that I need to read this. The way he spoke about how important Sandman is to him, and so much so that he was about to be done with DC, but then he was offered this, and he said, "Well, here we go again," and he jumped right in. That is enough for me to say, hey, if you believe in this, then I do too. So I can't wait to see what this is about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then we also had X-Men 92, House of
92.
92. Okay, I don't.
Can't wait.
Once you get to the C's, I don't know what's going on with those Roman numerals.
He's just
Come on.
100. Cien.
This is my favorite era of X-Men, just in terms of like the TV show. I'm a huge fan. I know a lot of people have soured on it in more recent years, but I love these characters and I can't wait to see them in this environment. This is going to be fun, I think. I don't know how good it will ultimately be, but I think it's going to be fun.
I think it'll at least be fun. So as we were doing the Pals polls, I don't have it in the slides here, but I'm curious as how none of us picked Jeff Johns coming back to DC with is this book actually coming out next week?
Oh,
That's why I didn't
Image?
pick it.
Are you
Image?
actually curious about it?
Flashpoint.
Wait, Flashpoint.
Yeah, the new Flashpoint book is at least solicited as next week. I thought it got delayed. I thought I heard a delay, but maybe this.
I
was
thought
the
it got
delay.
delayed too, which is why I didn't choose it.
Okay,
I thought you guys were talking about Image #1 because he's on that. He's billed on that one.
Yeah, he's doing Geiger.
I'll do
Yeah.
some,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see if that book comes
No,
out.
thanks.
That could be a book that comes out.
Yeah, if it comes out, we'll be reading it here. So
It's not about Cyborg, that's for sure.
oh no.
Can't have that.
Kidding me?
Those are our polls.
Those are our polls. Yes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and sticking with us. Really appreciate it. Make sure that you guys are joining us live every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for this very show. Next week, we'll be reviewing probably some of the books that you just heard us shout out in Pals Pools. And then some amount of other books. We'll see. We will keep you guys posted on social media or on our Discord server. If you join our Discord server, you guys are always made aware over there first of what's going on over here in Pals Nation. Every single Saturday, we are live at 10 a.m. Eastern for the main show. This week, as we did last week, we'll probably be speaking about an individual named Ezra Miller. There's a movie called The Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever. I don't know if that's the one that's coming out, the Fantastic Beast shit. I don't know if that's the one coming out or the one that came out or whatever. We need to talk about the crimes of Ezra Miller.
So you were a big Harry
Because-
Potter fan there, Sean.
I love Harry Potter.
I heard you love J.K. Rowling.
That I won't say. That I cannot say. Not because I don't want to be canceled, but because I don't think about J.K. Rowling. I think about Harry Potter.
Not a big Joanne fan. I get you.
Is that her first name?
I believe so. It's also a Lady Gaga album, so it could be both.
Yes.
but, yeah.
Was that a good album? I didn't hear that one.
Oh, dude, it's very different. I suggest you check it out.
I'm
Are we just outing ourselves as big Gaga fans on the show?
For me, it's not even being outed. I'm not ashamed of anything. I love Lady Gaga. First
two
three
Lady
albums.
Gaga.
You've got 2 ears and a
Lady
heart.
Gaga.
Come on.
They're like, I have Gaga vinyl, like special edition vinyl. Like,
Did you really?
dude, I love Gaga, man.
Oh damn, Trap Sword. Sorry to hear, bud.
Oh, bummer, dude.
Yeah. Okay, Sean, we got to start saying Eastern.
I did. I thought I always say Eastern. I say
Not always.
Eastern.
Not always. Most times. Sometimes you don't.
That's
All right.
5 p.m. Central.
Listen, hey Tyler, we gotta put the times and days and the different locations in the graphic there. How about that?
I could do that.
I don't care if you do or don't.
It might look graphically a little annoying, but you know.
In any event, watch on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/comicspals. Drop us a comment, share the video with your friends. The best way you can support us at the moment is to let other people know that we're out here and you enjoy what we do. If this is something that you care about, help us grow it. We appreciate your support. As always, we will see you guys next week. Until then, we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.
10 p.m. GMT.
It's 11 p.m. GMT.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Right now or when it starts?
When it starts.
Oh shit.
Who's GMT?
Me.
What is GMT?
Greenwich Mean Time.
Who lives in that? You?
Me.
Oh.
Why is it so
Fancy
grumpy?
British stuff. All right.
Bye.
Sure. Cheers. Bye.